Just when should Coventry City erect the Mark Robins statue then, Claudio?
Well, along with John Sillett and George Curtis and Jimmy Hill, we should have like the equivalent of the Mount Rushmore outside the stadium. Just great big figureheads.
I tell you what, if he gets you up this season, put him and Curtis to sit outside the CBS Arena instantly. I think
he's done an incredible job, hasn't he? And it's every year there's been an improvement. I mean, some of the fans are calling for it now, but if he gets us promoted, it'd be the biggest achievement ever by any manager at Coventry City, without doubt, from the lowest division to the top division.
All right, welcome back to the Coventry View then. We're going to obviously review the Millwall game. We're going to look ahead to the Stoke game. We're going to talk to you about whether he got his back four selection completely correct to begin with at the start there, and just talk about the job that Mark Robins has done. I'm also going to ask you to predict the Championship playoff final on May 26th, of who you genuinely believe, now having seen most of these teams twice, who you believe is going to be in that final. All right, let's start then with the Millwall game. Millwall were the better team, weren't they, for the most part of the first half?
Yeah, well, they were. They came out the blocks really quickly, pressed us high up. They're a handful. They've got the big chap at the back, Cooper. It's like Lurch, isn't he? He's massive, 6'7" or something. Every time they had a free kick or a throw in or a corner, he just came up, caused havoc basically. And but it did feel like they were running out of steam after 30 minutes, because there's no way they could have kept that up for the whole game. It was intense for 30 minutes. They deservedly took the lead, and we slowly got our way back into it. But we did have a chance after 4 minutes. I mean, how does Haji Wright not score?
Right, yeah.
Unbelievable. He's our equivalent of Nunez, I think. He does something fantastic and then does something awful. But he's got 11 goals, so you can't complain too much. But yeah, Millwall deservedly were in front in that first half.
And how much of that was the back four perhaps was wrong selection? So, for example, I never think De Silva has got much physical presence whenever I've seen Coventry, but you see him every week. And particularly, doesn't seem to be much height in there against teams who are obviously going to play that high ball. Would you agree with that? Or?
Yeah, I thought Bidwell would come in. I thought Bobby Thomas would start, but he stuck with the same team who won the game against, let's face it, Sheffield Wednesday's academy. I mean, that cup game, they had about 9 young lads in there, didn't they? Which is all well and good. And they did play well, but they should beat that Sheffield Wednesday side with that many changes. So, I mean, fair play. He kept the same team. It doesn't happen very often, does it, after a cup game, apart from the keeper? But we were just too slow. We should have changed it up, really. I think the problem was they were pressing high up, and we should have gone a long ball for the first 10 minutes just to try and break it up a bit.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get it in between the lines. It was so difficult. I mean, Millwall did a number on us for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Whether or not the defence, whether or not Bidwell or Thomas was in there would make a difference, I'm not sure. I think it was just being too slow getting it out, basically. You've got to move it quicker.
Yeah, Eccles seemed to be playing so deep at times. He didn't seem to have that kind of that out ball, which is unlike Coventry, because you seem to always be able to, spray it. But I think that first half, like you said, they did a job on you, but also tactically, you think he perhaps set it up wrong?
Yeah, well, I think with Josh Eccles, I mean, the change in the second half, you could see the difference because Bobby Thomas came on, Latabodiere moved into midfield, and he's got more of a presence and he wanted to get forward with the ball. I think Josh at times plays it safe too many times, and whether or not he hasn't got the confidence yet to try and thread a ball through, I don't know. But he was playing it very conservatively. He just wanted to go sideways or backwards and hope somebody else would do it. And he can pass a ball. He's a good player. He's got lots of energy. He makes lots of tackles, but sometimes you need a little bit more, don't you, under the cosh, especially in midfield.
All right, we're going to leave that there then. Just before we do so, just a word on Sims and Wright, who we spoke a lot about last week, and lots of people had commented on our video for last week on Sims, and thank you to every commentary fan who gave their thoughts, both positive and negatively. We appreciate lots of comments. I watched the game yesterday for the first time. I've seen Coventry for a number of months. I thought he did all right. He put himself about a bit. Lots of effort. You can't challenge his work rate. Just again, end product.
Yeah, the first half he was nearly getting onto things, wasn't he? But I mean, we had that chance. He's got to take it, and that's got to go in, especially from 2 yards out. But then he scores a decent goal in the second half. I mean, he gave the keeper the eyes and went near post, and he caught him out really. I think had the keeper realised he was going to put it there, he probably stopped it. But he just got enough pace in the ball to beat him. But I think it's weird because he brought him as a central striker, but he definitely looks better coming in off the left, off the flank, cutting inside. And a couple of times he did some great bits of skill to get past the defender for a big fella. I was quite impressed. Okay. But he's got 11 goals. He scored, I think, 8 in the 14. I mean, it's hard to criticise him because he could end up with 20 goals at this rate with 16 games left.
And still there were people in the comments saying he's not good enough for this club. All right.
It reminds me back in the day when we had Gary Thompson and Mark Hateley, where everybody seemed to really favour Gary Thompson and weren't keen on Mark Hateley, but they were just as good as each other. But Gary Thompson was quite rugged, quite robust, whereas Mark Hateley was a bit of a cooler character. And I think some fans don't like that, do they? They want to see a bit of oomph, don't they? A bit of grit and a bit of fight.
But in Robins, you trust. Massive changes in the second half, and that's a sign of a good manager, isn't it? To spot where it's going wrong, make the changes, and take the 3 points home.
That's where the improvement has been in Mark Robins' management, and whether or not the coaching staff have got hold of this as well, because we used to make changes really late in the game. Last season, the season before, it'd be like 80 minutes before we'd change something. Obviously, we've now got a squad, although we've got a couple of injuries, where he can change it. And to change it after about 5-6 minutes of the second half, wasn't it? It was quite early. Yeah. I thought fair play. I mean, that was a brave decision, and it paid off, didn't it? Definitely.
Absolutely. Can I ask you honestly, in the 7 years that he's been your manager, how many times have you as a fan called for his head?
Me personally, I haven't.
Okay, but not once.
No, but I have questioned his judgment and things. I've been quite vocal about it. It's not like, and it's mainly to do with things like substitutions and why when he change it, or when he was insisting on 3 at the back for so long, we're thinking, please change it, and eventually he did. But no, because I just feel he just knows what the club needed, and he's come in at a really tough time when Cesar were in charge. Yeah. And we've got no academy. I mean, he's created the academy now, basically. We had nothing. So, no, it'd be hard. I mean, there are fans who have, because they don't like the style of play. We think we're a bit slow at times and don't move it quick enough. And for some of the good players we've signed some bums as well. So, but it's hit and miss, isn't it? Every club's the same.
Well, there's been at least 3 occasions I can think of where he's been under pressure, and actually, fans have called for his head, and times haven't been good. But it's a hard question, this. But how much do you think Coventry are reaping the rewards of not standing by him? 7 years is one of the longest Championship manager, longest reign in the Championship, and obviously throughout the EFL as well. Do you think longevity has a lot to do with your success at the moment? I mean, it's hard to quantify, but what are your thoughts?
Oh, definitely. I mean, if he'd have been the Watford manager, he'd have gone this season, because we lost 5 games in a row. We lost 4 in a row this season, and we lost 5 in a row last season. I mean, it's not like we've been perfect all season. We haven't. It's been really slow, and we're slowly gaining momentum. But I think at other clubs, I mean, he said it himself as well. Those managers in better positions, as in the table, who got the sack early this season when we were struggling. So I think, it's fair play to the new owner as well, because he could have come in and just swept it clean, couldn't he? Gone in, I'm going to bring my own people in. Luckily, he knows nothing about running a football club. That's his admission. It's something new to him, and I think he's just relied on football people. And luckily, I suppose luckily for Mark Robins, he's in the right place at the right time. And it's just a good fit.
Yeah. All right, busy time for Coventry then. 5 games coming up in a very short space of time, including a big FA Cup game in a couple of weeks against Maidstone. Next week on the channel, we will have a Maidstone fan with you, Claudio, to review that particular game. So watch out for that one. 15 games left then. All right, who's going to be in the Championship playoff final come Sunday, May 26th?
That's my birthday.
No way.
It is, yeah. It always lands on my birthday weekend, yeah. That's my actual birthday. So I'm allowed to be confident?
Yeah, why not?
Right. I think we can sneak in there again. I think we're going to do a Luton and a Brentford, all that sort of thing, where we may not win it, but I feel like we could get in there. And why not? I mean, we've sort of got a bit of momentum going. I worry about Hull City because they've made some good signings in the window. They've brought in some decent players. But I fancy us. It depends where we finish. I'd love it to be us and Ipswich.
Yeah, that would be classic, wouldn't it? Yeah,
purely because neither of us have been there for so long.
Yeah,
And this time I hope it's us, because the same with Luton last year, wasn't it? Because they hadn't been there for years.
Yeah.
Well, they missed out, didn't they? They've never been in there.
It would be good to have Leeds in the final, would you? Wouldn't it? Because you'd have the whole country being Coventry fans for for a day, and also there's a bit of needle between you when you played each other last as well, wasn't there? So
especially Leeds, because I mean, for years they were the bridesmaids, weren't they? Really, they won't admit it. All those years of Don Revie, the amount of times they failed at the last minute, that'd be perfect.
All right, Coventry fans, put your predictions down below. Will Coventry make it to the playoffs May 26? 15 games to go. Claudio, thanks for joining us again. I appreciate it. Enjoy the game this weekend. Stoke predictions very quickly.
They're useless at the minute, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not good.
Even their fans will say that. But we've got Plymouth midweek. Well, so I can't see us winning both. If we get 4 points, I'll be happy. I reckon we'll draw at Plymouth and we'll win at Stoke. So a 1-1 and a 1-0.
Thanks. We'll take that. All right. Thanks, Claudio. Catch you next week. Thanks, everyone. If you haven't yet subscribed and you're a Coventry fan, please do so. Claudio's here every single week with guests from all of the 23 of the clubs and plus some extra Coventry fans coming up in the next 15 weeks as well, as the run-in this exciting season for Coventry fans continues. Thanks, Claudio.
Cheers.